Hello, and welcome to the 2022 Do You Watch What I Watch Watchies. Now introducing your hosts, Jennifer and Josh.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, gosh, yes. And we are so excited to welcome you to this, the very first Do You Watch What I Watch Watchies. How are you feeling tonight, Jennifer?
I am just full of excitement, and we are ready to just really embrace the highs and the not as highs, put a positive spin on it. Movies that we watched as a podcast this season, our first season as a pod. Can you believe it, Josh? We made it.
And it's been a great season. And in talking about how we wanted to kind of put the period, or I guess you should say the comma, on season one, because we're still going to do more shows moving
Or at
forward
least
and all
what's
that.
it when it's the three dots, the not ellipse.
Ellipses, yes, an ellipses. We
Da, da,
thought
da.
what we should do is not just do that, but let's put a bit of an exclamation point on it and actually have some fun, roll out some categories, talk about some nominees, and pick winners. And our
Yeah.
results have been audited by the accounting firm of Ernst& Young. Or not,
Very important.
but
Yeah,
that's up
maybe
for you
not,
to
but we,
decide.
we try to be on
Exactly.
the up and up.
Indeed.
We are, you have to protect the integrity of the pod at all costs.
We do. And without further ado, let's just get right into it with our first category, best use of holiday magic. And we decided this should be a category, Jennifer, because magic is often an element in these movies and it can go sideways or it can actually really help the movie, can it?
Yeah, sometimes we pull a rabbit out of our hat, and sometimes it's something else that they're pulling out.
Yes,
So
and amen.
here we
Yes.
are.
And the nominees are A Kismet Christmas, A Magical Christmas Village, and 5 More Minutes, Moments Like These. And I have the award right here, Jennifer.
Opening the envelope.
Opening the envelope. And the very first Watchie of the 2022 Watchies goes to A Kismet Christmas. And
May there be a cookie and an award under their
underneath
pillow.
your pillow, right? And I got to say, Jennifer, that movie, I felt like the magic did what we wanted it to. It moved the plot forward. It was interesting. It was fun to watch. And it was a theme that lasted throughout the entire film, I thought.
Absolutely. And it wasn't so zany out there that it was, it's unrealistic. Obviously, cookies don't make you fall in love, but it wasn't so far out there that it was full of North Pole magic. It was more attainable magic. And I
Right.
think
And
that
I
really,
like,
sparked something within us.
yeah. And I like that it was tied to family traditions and the whole 9 yards. And it just sort of, I think, like I said, added to the movie. There you have it.
Absolutely.
Second category, Jennifer, your turn.
And we should have mentioned every movie that we watched of the new 20 that we covered this season are at least featured in one category. Some of them
Yes.
are featured a little bit more, but everything, if you loved a movie this season, it's going to be in at least one category. So
So stay with us. Yes.
all right. So our next category is best movie set in New Orleans, because believe it or not, we had more than one.
Multiples. 2 to be in.
I told that to
2.
Andy. I was reading him the categories. He was like, there was more than one. I was like, yes, there was. So nominee number 1 is All Saints Christmas from Hallmark. Nominee number 2 is A New Orleans Noel from Lifetime.
Hmm.
And that's the end of the nominees. We only had 2. All right, I'm going to open my envelope. The winner is A New Orleans Noel with Keisha Knight Pulliam, Patti LaBelle, and there you go. This was a little bit of a topic of discussion betwixt us, wasn't it, Josh?
Yeah, we sort of went back and forth on this one, but I think we ultimately decided in New Orleans Noel because Patti LaBelle's performance was so strong. Number one, we thought that there were some great family elements, and we thought that at the end of the day, it was a bit more of a believable Christmas story than All Saints Christmas.
Agreed.
But we did like the
So,
music in All Saints Christmas,
we liked
so
the music, but also they had it snow in New Orleans on Christmas Day.
which sort of did him in at the end of the day. So there you have it. So congratulations to A New Orleans Noel. And if you're keeping tabs, that means Hallmark has won one, Lifetime has won one as well, because we're going to, obviously it's a big deal. These networks going to bragging rights. We're talking
We'll
bragging
find it out.
rights.
Yes, I'm sure this will be published. The results of our awards will be in many publications later this week.
Indeed. Look for it in Variety, for
Yes,
example.
that's
Yeah.
what we want ultimately.
We'll tag them. Maybe they'll throw it in there just for funsies. We love you,
I'm sure
Variety.
they will.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on now to a category that I think is really going to be interesting to see here because, some of these movies are all about the main actors and actresses, right? It's
Mhm.
Christopher Poloha, it's, Tyler
Heavy
Hines, it's
hitters.
heavy
Hmm.
hitters, right? But there can be movies that come around the corner where it's all about the group effort. And so here are the nominees for Best Ensemble Cast: Christmas at the Golden Dragon, Kirk Franklin's The Night Before Christmas, and Three Wise Men and a Baby. Some heavy hitters in this category,
Those are
Jennifer.
heavy hitters, and boy, did they all have ensembles. There were
Whew.
so many names in all of those movies.
Ensembles. That's why they're not listed on the graphic because it would have
Yeah.
taken too much space. There you have it.
No, we don't have
And
time for
the
that.
Watchie goes to Kirk Franklin's The Night Before Christmas. A Lifetime film there. Now picking up the second award of the night for Lifetime. Jennifer, what did you like about this one?
I mean, like we talked about on our review, they just look like they had fun making this movie. They all look like they were just hanging out in the church setting, singing, dancing, and vibing, and I was here for it.
And you said
What
this
about
during
you?
the review episode, but if you have not seen this one, watch it for the last scene in and of itself. The last scene is, in my mind, perfection. It is
Mhm.
holiday feels to 11, just turned all the way up. Great
Jesus feels,
music. Oh,
hashtag
all over the
Jesus
place.
feels, dancing, singing, an angel of Kirk Franklin, all of it. It checks all of the boxes.
They're going to take you to church. It was a great one
Hmm.
all the way around. All right,
Yes, we're
next
happy about that.
category.
Most believable romance, because as we
Hmm.
know, there's some element of romance, whether we need it or not, in all of these movies, but sometimes the chemistry's there and sometimes it's like they skip the class. So
Hmm.
we wanted to really award the believable romances. So nominee number one is Destined at Christmas from Great American Family. Number two, We Wish You a Merried Christmas from Hallmark. And number three, The Holiday Sitter, also from Hallmark. Lots of good chemistry betwixt these relationships, Josh.
Great chemistry in all three of these movies. Who's the big winner?
We opened my envelope.
Mm.
It was upside down. We Wish You a Merry Christmas.
Oh, see, and I think for me, what did it for this particular film was that we saw the ups, but we also saw the downs. And I think that that was very much true to life. And I think really showcasing a relationship in shambles helped to endear them to folks watching this movie and almost cheer for them all the more. That was my thought. What about you?
Yes, and I feel like a lot of people, this movie was polarizing from the web that I saw
Hmm.
people reviewing it. And I think when people didn't like it, it's because it wasn't the holliest and jolliest, but it did have llamas. I mean, what more do you want? Like, it had llamas and snowman silos, but it was realistic and, dare I say, believable. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed watching them work through all the relationship struggles, and all of these romances were good, but We Wish You a Merry Christmas was great.
Agreed. Sometimes when you watch these movies, moving on to our next category, sometimes you're just sitting there and you're thinking, who in the world came up with this concept, right? And you're just like, this is bonkers. And so we just decided we absolutely needed a category for, frankly, most
Most
bonkers.
bonkers.
What does bonkers mean to you, Jennifer?
Bonkers to me means unbelievable. How did we get here? What am I watching? Or maybe I'm enjoying it, but boy, howdy, it is out there in the universe.
Yes, this is officially the Boy Howdy category. And the nominees are Falling for Christmas from Netflix, Merry Textmas from Lifetime, and A Royal Corgi Christmas from Hallmark. And the 2022 Watchie for Most Bonkers goes to Merry Textmas.
It had to
Mm,
be.
it had
It was
to
not a
be.
competition at all.
And if you've not watched it, Jennifer,
You don't need to. Just listen to our recap.
long
It
story
is.
long, we're in a different country. There's a mobile app. There's romance.
There's
There's
a rando guy
a
showing up at
rando
family
guy.
events.
There's a dancing montage that lasts entirely too long. It is, in a word, bonkers.
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 Hashtag bonkers.
And there you have
There's
it.
an app. You didn't mention the app.
Ugh,
The
oy
app and the
vey.
app for holidays and the app.
Yikes. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bonkers.
All right, moving on to our next category, and we are in no way really qualified to judge any of this, but we're going to give out an award for Best Production Value. Some of these movies for sure showcase their higher budget more than others, and we want to award them. So, our first nominee, A Holiday Spectacular by Hallmark, Three Wise Men and a Baby from Hallmark, and Falling for Christmas from Netflix.
All good ones.
All good ones, but one is great. Let's see, opening the envelope. We need like a noise for the podcast. Best production value goes to A Holiday Spectacular.
Oh, the crowd loves that
your,
one.
Your high kicks for that one. Yes.
High kicks for that one. I think for me, the reason this wins is because it was authentic. They were shooting it right at Radio City Music Hall. We got real Rockettes, we got real costumes, real dancing, and I also appreciated a lot of the period touches since the movie takes place in the 1950s that really felt true to form for that era. What about you?
Yes, this was a level above anything else that we watched. It was, and that's not to say everything else was bad, but if, there's kind of a standard level for these movies, and this increased the curve far
Yeah.
and above as
I
far as
mean,
the whole vibe went.
this went well beyond red pea coats and Dickensian costumes for carolers. Exactly.
And fake snow.
Fake. Oh, always with the fake snow or CGI
We should
snow.
have had a best or worst fake snow category
Next year.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been laughing a lot, but sometimes when you watch these movies, Jennifer, sometimes the mood is just a little down.
It's a little somber.
A
And
little
isn't that
somber.
true for the holidays in general?
It
It's
can
not all
be.
holly jolly. Sometimes it's a
Sometimes,
sad boy Christmas.
oh, sometimes things happen. Sometimes there's a backstory that just sticks with you. And that's why we just need a category for most Kleenex used. And the nominees for most Kleenex used for the 2022 Watchies are Time for Him to Come Home for Christmas, 5 More Minutes, Moments Like These, Three Wise Men and a Baby. The envelope, please. Thank you. And the
He
winner.
keeps talking to Noah. It just no one.
The winner for most Kleenex used is 5 More Minutes, Moments Like These. Our Queen Ashley Williams brings it
Can
home.
you dry your tears with the envelope of the award right now?
Oh,
Don't
right
cut
there.
yourself.
paper cut at the eye. Terrible.
Ah,
Yeah, I
Yes,
felt like this one, all the feels. We knew that going in. It is a Hallmark movies and mysteries, so you know it's going to be a little bit heavier. And boy, howdy, did it deliver heavy.
I love that you're stealing the boy howdy. If we were dolls, if you pulled the string, I think I would say,
Boy, howdy.
I'm here for it, and boy howdy, and yours would be lo and behold.
Exactly. Bonkers. Anyway, this
But
was a
yes,
great
we digress,
movie,
yeah.
but a tough one to watch.
Yes, it's not one I'm ever gonna watch again, probably, but it was
Yeah.
very well done. Great cast, great story, all the feels.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
All
to
right.
juxtapose that, we're going from tears to LOLs. We have our biggest LOL category. What made us laugh this holiday season? Here we go. Lights, Camera, Christmas from Hallmark, Three Wise Men and a Baby from Hallmark, and Hanukkah on Rye, also from Hallmark. Hallmark
Mm.
running the category. My
Running the
goodness.
category in the humor category. Good for them.
And
Some
this was
great
not always the case.
scripts.
These movies were not known for being humorous in the past. I really feel like the new regime, specifically at Hallmark, is trying to lighten things up when we're not crying our eyeballs off and have some funny moments and some lightheartedness.
Mhm.
So the winner of biggest LOLs goes to Three Wise Men and a Baby.
Had to be. Had to be. I mean,
This was a tough category.
tough category. All three of these movies were pretty funny because they were well written, great concepts, really provided a lot of good laughs. But I think for me, Three Wise Men and a Baby, it was great to see these three guys playing off of one another. You could tell they were friends and having a blast shooting this one. It also had a lot of heart and a lot of kind of zany moments that just sort of unfolded. What about you?
And I think it may have, not to put words in your mouth, but it may have struck a chord more with us because we are both parents and we have been there with the what formula did you get? What diapers do you get?
What
Like
am I
all
doing
the
here?
options in the
Yes.
aisle. And
Yeah.
and I'm so tired. I just want some me time. All those little things that they said, even when it wasn't flat out jokes, were funny to me because I've been there and I've said those exact things. So
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely enjoyed this one.
And from the movies we enjoyed to the ones we didn't. Ugh. You know, some of these you think going in they're just going to be great, and then they just underwhelm, right? And so that's why we've got this category. This category is Biggest Snoozer. The nominees for Biggest Snoozer are A Royal Corgi Christmas, Hallmark, Wrapped Up in Love, Lifetime, A Catering Christmas, Great American Family. The
We have one
envelope,
movie from each of the big three
please.
there.
I know. You know, snoozing is equal opportunity, Jennifer.
It
Here we go.
is. Yes.
No,
Is this award sponsored
I
by
need
NyQuil?
right, exactly. I need Biggest Snoozer. That's what we're on right now. Biggest. Okay, thank you. Okay, here we go. All right, here
It's
we
so
go.
hard to find good help these days with award show
Honestly,
production.
ugh. Well, you know, we don't have a budget, right? So we're just having to deal with what we can do. Next season.
Next season.
Maybe we'll have an intern. Now accepting applications for season 2 intern.
Email to intern at you watch what I watch.
Can you imagine? And the winner for Biggest Snoozer is
Serious business.
oh yes, no, I'm reading it correctly. It is Wrapped Up in Love, Biggest Snoozer of the 2022 Watchies.
Yeah.
This movie,
It could have been in the bonkers category too. It was almost there. It was almost
it was almost in the
double trouble.
bonkers, just in the snoozer. And I think primarily it found its way to the snoozer category because you actually snoozed the first time you watched this one, right?
I did. I definitely fell asleep. And I wasn't even sleepy when I started it. It just lost me big time.
And if you've not seen it, go back and listen to our podcast episode about it because it is pretty funny because this one was just that bad. But it was very cliche and everything people think these movies are. So
not in a good way.
Not in a good way. No. Yeah. All right, moving on.
Oh, Josh, you have to do this one.
You think?
It's best baking montage, for goodness
Oh,
sake.
it is. And you know, a baking montage is really what I'm into when it comes to these. And fortunately enough, we had several great baking montages to consider among the best of the best. The nominees for Best Baking Montage for the 2022 Watchies are Catering Christmas, Great American Family, Hanukkah on Rye, Hallmark, A New Orleans Noel, Lifetime.
So we had another category that had one from each of the big three. Look at us.
So let's talk about the diversity of baking here that you get. A movie that's all about catering and baking. A movie that takes place in Jewish delis that involves a lot of great Jewish-oriented food, great stuff, and A New Orleans Noel. Patti LaBelle making all of her stuff with the blue nails. Her pralines with the blue nails. Tough category. I
wanted to put on long fake nails for tonight, but I didn't have time.
Again, season
just
2.
Clack them the whole time.
Stay tuned, dear listener. Season 2 for that.
I mean, you know, there's like praline dust all up in those nails.
Oh, for sure.
She can't wear gloves with those nails.
But is there praline dust in the envelope? We'll see. The winner for Best Baking Montage 2022 Watchies is... Oh, it's Catering Christmas. Oh, Great American Family. Congratulations, Candace Cameron Bure. You're not
She
here to
wasn't even
accept
in
her
this
award.
movie.
Not even in it. She was in enough of the
She's not
commercial
here
breaks,
to
though.
accept the We'll
We
accept
will
this
accept the
award on her
award
behalf.
on her behalf. No,
We need to put up a
I
picture of her like at the beach right now
exactly.
on the YouTube video.
Well, she
She
did.
couldn't be
She
here
had a
tonight.
very busy Christmas season. I mean, she read
Did
"Twas the Night
she?
Before Christmas" at least 48 times during the Christmas season.
That's true.
But catering
Welcome home.
Christmas for me, I really liked this movie. I thought the relationship was believable, but I thought the baking in it, the cooking in it was actually really fun to watch and actually, I think, contributed to the plot. So there you have
And
it.
that kitchen was gorgeous.
Right? I'll take that kitchen any day
I
of the
don't
week.
remember much about the movie other than the kitchen and the baking. So yes, that was a
Indeed.
great one.
Indeed.
Mhm.
All right.
Much
I
deserved.
think we are jumping into the big categories here. I think we're going to go supporting actor, actress, then we're going to go to male lead, female lead, and then our picks for the top 3. So we are making good progress as we
Let's do it.
continue the Watchies. Next season, Jennifer, we'll do costume changes like they do, like the hosts do on the award shows. We'll up our own production value next season. So
Maybe so.
stay tuned.
It's good to have goals. People set lots of goals for the new year.
Mm.
These are our goals. Just
Lots of them.
up the pod.
Up the
All
pod.
pod related.
Right?
All right. I will be happy to give out the award for Best Male Lead. We have Tyler Hines, who's in Time for Him to Come Home for Christmas, and Three Wise Men and a Baby. He was in very long named movies. Christopher Palaha, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And Jeremy Jordan from Hanukkah on Rye.
Mm. All great performances.
And all Hallmark hunks, isn't it?
Mm.
Across the board, the Hallmark hunks. The winner of Best Male Lead goes to Tyler Hines. Yay, the Heinies will be so happy.
They will be happy. He just had, I think, a great season. His movies were well promoted, and he was great in them. They were really, you could tell, well written for him and his style of acting, I thought.
Yeah, he just has a natural way about himself in these movies. It never seems too forced or too sugary sweet, and he just has this natural swagger. If I have to see that picture of him chomping on that candy cane one more time, Hallmark Instagram loves that picture of him with the candy cane. I think there's calendars coming out about
Oh my
it.
gosh.
So he definitely has the hearts of all the Hallmark ladies, and he's very sweet with his fans. And
Yeah.
he even responded to us a couple times this season too in our little old podcast. So we're very appreciative of that. Very well deserved, Tyler Hines. Congratulations.
Seems like a good guy all the way around. Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Best Female Lead. Well, this is a big category because
It's tough.
the Queens of Christmas are duking it out here, and this is a toughie. The
And
nominees.
before we get any flack, I'm sorry, Lacey Chabert is not nominated because we did not cover her movie this season on the podcast proper. Although Haul Out
Yes.
the Holly was fun, we love Lacey. We just didn't cover that movie, so that's why. Just a reminder: these nominees are from the movies that we covered because I already got a message about it.
I'm glad that you added that asterisk. And we've already talked
Yes.
about Jennifer for season 2. Maybe we consider doing a random draw week by week as opposed to drafting. That way we might, expose ourselves to some things that might be better than we thought, or frankly, way worse than we thought. So there might be some value in that.
We should have like a big bingo, that wheel that kind of just rolls it, like the lottery or the bingo. Yeah.
With like a little
Let
ping
the
pong
wheel
ball.
decide. Just let
The
it
wheel of
decide
fate.
for us.
The wheel of
Yes.
fate. Oh, we
Season 2.
digress.
Okay.
Season 2,
Sorry.
exactly.
Best female
Best
lead.
female lead. The nominees are Kimberly Sustad, Lights, Camera, Christmas. Ashley Williams, 5 More Minutes, Moments Like These. And Jenna Claire Mason, A Holiday Spectacular. All of these, Hallmark. Interesting. Great
Again,
acting.
yes.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I know these 3 women are just sitting on the edge of their seats, just champing
How
at the
could they
bit.
not be?
How could you not? I mean, inaugural award. Really, we're just kicking off award season here. And the winner is Ashley Williams. 5 More Minutes, Moments like these. Ugh.
Congratulations, Ashley.
Yeah. And what did you think about her role and her acting in this? Why was this the best for you?
So a lot of times she does play a zanier, more lighthearted character, which personally I gravitate more towards, but due to the weight of this movie and the grief, she really walked the line well in my mind of holding on to the grief and being grounded and relatable, but also there were still some lighthearted moments in how you navigate all of that. And I thought she did a great job. And that scene where she turns around and sees her late husband in the
In the
basement and
basement?
she
Ooh.
just clings to him and says, "Please don't leave. Please don't leave me alone." That alone should actually win a real award.
Yeah, no, it
I mean,
was
not that
that
we're not
good.
real, but it was just, it was incredible. I had to watch it twice, and I
Yeah.
felt every bit of it. So
Yeah. And if you've
very
not
good.
seen it, watch it for that scene alone. It's great. The whole movie's great, but that scene in particular is a doozy for sure. All right, to you, Jennifer.
All right, we have Best Supporting Actor or Actress. Like we've said before, the leads, a lot revolves around them, but it really does take a whole team to support the leads. So here we are: Patti LaBelle, A New Orleans Noel; Lauren Lott from Kirk Franklin's The Night Before Christmas; and Anne Margaret, A Holiday Spectacular. So we actually have two Lifetimes and one Hallmark here.
There you go.
And the winner of Best Supporting Actress, because we did not have any actors nominated, is Patti LaBelle and her nails. Patti.
Oh, she did just a great job, for someone with her stature and someone who is basically a living legend. She could have phoned it in, right? She could have just showed up and read her lines and they would have still used it and promoted the heck out of it. But you actually got the sense when she was doing this film that she was having fun, that she was playing her part, that she was really engaging with the other folks on set and just having a good time. I thought she was
I
great.
think she did a great job. Yeah, she
Hmm.
looked like she had a lot of fun. So good for Patty. It's not like she's ever won any awards. I mean, sure, this is the first award she's ever won in her long
Right?
standing career.
Right, right. All right. I think we're going to jump to fan favorite. Fan favorite. Obviously, we're all about our fans, all about the community we're trying to build here at the podcast. And so we have a whole category where we asked you to tell us what you thought was your favorite film that we reviewed on the podcast. And drum roll, it was an overwhelming choice. Three Wise Men and a Baby. The fan favorite Watchie for 2022. Great
It's a,
movie. All the
yeah.
fun. All the feels. Loved it.
Well, and this was great too because there was such a build up for so long for this movie that I was very concerned it would not live up to the hype, but I am so glad it did. I watched it, then Andy watched it with me, and then he wanted to put it on again while we were like wrapping presents a couple days before Christmas. So,
Love that.
big fan. It has, like we said before, it has heart, it has humor, it has the whole package. So, congratulations to that team, and I would love to see them together in another movie.
Indeed. All right, Jennifer, I'm going to do my top three and then you can do your top three. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. So Jennifer and I each get to pick our top three movies that we watched here on the podcast this season. My number three, Three Wise Men and a Baby. Loved it.
Just two
Thought
of
it
them.
was great. Just two of them. I didn't like the other one. I'll let you guess which one I didn't like. Anyway, I thought it was a great film. Really fun. Loved the family vibes. Loved how all the characters grew over time. Number two for me was Lights, Camera, Christmas. I loved the concept of this movie. The romance was believable. Kimberly Sustad knocked it out of the park. Was a great, great movie. All the holiday feels. Really enjoyed it. My number one, Hanukkah on Rye. I'm telling you what, boy howdy, I had
You
fun
loved
watching this one.
it.
I
Oy vey.
loved it. Would watch it anytime it's on TV. The romance is believable. I loved the family dynamics, the supporting cast around the main characters. They're all great. It's just a lot of fun. It's what I wanted in a holiday movie times 1,000. Great movie.
Yes, and it was one of the last ones we talked about. I wish it had
Yeah,
come out earlier this season. We would have had the chance to watch it more, but
I thought so
we'll just have
too.
to keep
Yeah,
it in the vault for next year. All
there you
right.
go.
My top three. Number three, Lights, Camera, Christmas. Again, everything I echo everything you said. It was great. It was great to talk to Gary Goldstein, who wrote the script for it.
Yes.
Just so fun. Such a different movie for Hallmark that I hope, again, that they kind of take the popularity of how this movie went and lean into that for the next season. Number two, I put Kirk Franklin's Night Before Christmas. Listen,
Mm,
this movie is qualitatively not the best movie of these.
no.
There are some holes, there are some moments, but it
There is
just
the
makes me
shark hydrovac. I mean, you can't
there's the
forget that.
shark hydrovac. All of that is bonkers, dare I say, but it made me so happy. I smiled the entire time. The music montage at the end took me to church. It's everything that I want in these movies. So I will watch it again and again and again. So congratulations to Kirk Franklin and his team there. And my number one movie, Three Wise Men and a Baby, kind of like we've already said. It met my expectations, and there we go.
Yeah. So there you have it. The 2022 Watchies have been announced. We'll just let the trade publications do what they will with these hotly contested categories. Jennifer, final thoughts on the 20 movies that we watched. You obviously have been watching these a lot longer than I have. I'm newer to the fandom of holiday movies.
Mm-hmm.
Contextually, do you feel like it was a good crop? Where do you see the trends going in these movies? Just give us some context here, your
Of
analysis.
course, Hallmark has made a big public push for more diversity in not just race, but also gender and types of stories and showing different family dynamics to better represent the world we live in. And I 1000% co-sign that. So that was a big push. But I think this year's movies was the best year that I've ever seen. I mean, really, even the ones that we thought were bonkers or kind of snoozers, they weren't bad. It was just compared to everything else that we'd seen already, they didn't really hold up. So there were none that were truly awful.
Mm.
And I don't think many of them were terribly boring. So I was very happy with the season as a whole. What about you, Josh?
I think for me, I kept seeing all these memes and all these things on Instagram where people are like, every Hallmark movie you've ever seen in 90 seconds. Like, and they'd
Mhm.
show the movie poster thing where the guy's in green and the girl's in red and da da da. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people have these preconceived ideas of what these movies look like. And I think the ones we watched this season, to your point, Jennifer, they show that these companies, by and large, are trying to do better, trying to do new things, trying to make a splash in a different kind of way. And look, they
Mhm.
have to. These movies are not expensive to create. You can churn them out like that. And we've seen Hallmark do that in the past. To actually cut through that clutter, they've got to tell better stories. They've got to try to do things differently and better. And I think we're starting to see more and more of that. And I think it's pretty great.
Absolutely. And I think I saw on Twitter there's an account I follow called Sleepy Kitty Paws. And they have a great account that tells you not just movies from the networks we've talked about, but all the networks, BET and Up TV. I mean, pretty much every major network now has holiday movies. I think there were over 2,000 new holiday movies released in 2022. We could literally do
Bonkers.
well, not 2,000, I'm sorry, 200, over 200. We could do one a day and still not get to all of them. So that's
Hmm.
bonkers, but it shows there is a audience for these movies. So like you said, they have to be better. They have to be more inclusive. They have to have better stories. They have to have humor. They can't all be stiff and dry like they used to be. So
And I
I'm
don't know
here
about
for it.
you.
Hashtag.
I was just going to say, I don't know about you, but I'm here for it. Not only watching these movies, but doing the podcast with you this season has been just one of the best highlights for my holiday season. Seeing the folks interact with us on our social media channels and have fun watching all these movies with us has been just so much fun and an absolute joy to do this holiday season. Can we do it again next year? Can we keep doing this, Jennifer? Are you going to sign on
I'm
with me
down.
for more? Okay, good.
I'll re up. Yeah, I'll renew the lease.
And all that to say, Jennifer, we want to hear from people what they're thinking about the podcast, what they want to see from us, don't we?
That's right. Please subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen and or on YouTube. That's the best way whenever we release new episodes. You never know when one might pop up. Subscribe and it'll show up in your feeds. And also you can find us on doyouwatchwhatiwatch.com with links to Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all the things.
All of the things. And until we see you soon, as we always say at the end of every show, Jennifer,
May your days be merry and bright. Welcome to 2023, y'all.